Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Jacqueline. Do you love the Wizard of Oz? How about Wicked? You like that one? Have you ever thought of throwing a Wizard of Oz theme party? But you thought it was just for kids? No. In this series, I'm going to show you all about how I threw a fabulous Wizard of Oz party that was good for both children and adults. I'm going to share with you all my DIY ideas, all my little DIY projects that I did, ideas for food, for activities, anything to make it a fabulous and unforgettable Wizard of Oz party. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned and I'll show you all about it.
No Wizard of Oz party would be complete without the Emerald City, don't you think? As I researched online, I found a lot of interpretations of what this Emerald City skyline and its gate would look like. It was very inspirational, but also so overwhelming, since there were so many directions I could go. I knew I wanted to create a division between the living room and the dining room, and that creating a gated door with columns would be the way to go. And I also knew that, as I mentioned before in part 1 of the series, I could repurpose the gate and columns I had made for previous parties. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my process and how I ended up coming up with my own interpretation and design for the Emerald City Gate and how I put it all together.
Okay, getting started here with my Emerald City Gate. This is basically just pieces of framing that I had used in my Moroccan gate arch. So I think I'm gonna have to make it smaller. So I went ahead and took it all apart. So it's okay. It's a little smaller, but take less time to cover. And this is some of the papers that I'm planning to use. A lot of nice glittery gold, of course, and some nice glittery green. And this is just some plain green. And I'll put a picture here, kind of what the plan is. And I'll probably also use the columns that I have from previous parties as well. So first of all, I need to figure out how big. I think I'm gonna do it in sections so that I have, they're easier to carry because it's not gonna be in my house. So I need to think of portability. I got the doors that I did here for the Moroccan arch. I took all the gold paper and all that I had on top. It was sad to see it go, but it had to go. Anyway, so I'm gonna start with that as the base and then work from there. I might add new cardboard, new foam core, depending on what it seems to be the need. So let's get to it. Okay, this will be the idea. This time I'm gonna make it smaller, so it's just the width of the doors. But since I don't have to make the doors again, I'm making, the top and bottom be as short as I need it to be. The sides, I think I'm going to keep it nice and tall. It'll fit in the house, so that's fine. So now I just have to cut these guys to go on the bottom and the top. Okay, so I created a basic frame with a little support. The arch is going to go basically there, but I wanted an extra support here so that when I put, new foam core walls on top, there's somewhere for it to go. I think I'm gonna do the door first and then do my top coat, my top cut in the shape of that arch. And then I'm gonna worry about covering the rest of this. I think it makes more sense. The doors have to be right. So it looks like it's gonna take me 4 foam cores per side. So now I know how many more I need to get. Okay, so I duct taped 4 panels. That's gonna be my back side. And this is gonna be like a sandwich. It's gonna have this on the front and also on the back because this has to be a functional door. And you're gonna see both sides. So I need to make both sides good. So it's basically gonna be like a sandwich. I'm gonna leave what was there before because that's gonna help with the cut that I need to make for the curve. But I'm gonna install at least the front here. I'm thinking of just gluing it on probably with glue gun. And then of course it's gonna get all covered up in pretty paper. I think before I actually start covering it up, I need to give more support to this upper part, which I never had. So I'm gonna glue some more wood on the back, on the middle there. I'll probably cut it to size and I'll probably put some going like that. Making sure that it's all secure. Okay, I've reinforced both doors on the top, as you can see. Now I'm gonna go ahead and trace them on the foam core so I can cut the shape. I'm gonna cut 1. I think this one seems to be a little bit more accurate than this one, as you can see here. So I'm gonna cut 1 and then I wanna cut the other one based on that one. And then I'll probably glue the next ones before I attach them so I can use them as a template. Okay, so I went ahead and joined the 4 pieces and cut them to the shape, and I'm putting one on one side and one on the other. So this is gonna go down, and I think for now I'm just gonna tack it with hot glue, and then later the whole thing's gonna get wrapped in paper and adhesive paper, so that should take care of it. Okay, I went ahead and needed to get off the brackets that I had there in the corners, because I ended up making the door a little bit bigger when I was drawing it out and making sure that they were the same. And I also went ahead and stapled the foam core to the frame of the door. And I had to do a lot of sanding. I don't know if you know, but you can sand foam core. It works pretty good to make sure, it would fit. I had a little bit of a issue fitting it, but the sanding took care of it. So now I got 2 doors. And the other thing I did, I went ahead and put an edging. It almost looks like a real door. It has the same thickness. Just a thin piece of poster board, just to kind of clean up the edges a little bit. Because now the next part is put in the paper on it. So I'm excited about that. And then, see, I did it with, I started with hot glue, and then I moved to double-sided tape because the hot glue was being a pain. So anyway, so now we gotta put some paper on this. Okay, so before I cover the doors, I thought I'd work on my OZ. This is gonna be overlaid on top of the doors, and I'm thinking of doing like a glittery gold and green paper. So I kind of just freehanded this. I just put enough sheets together to kind of fit in the door. And I'm gonna cut it out, and then from that I'm gonna template it into foam core, and then I'm gonna cover it up with the special paper. There it is. Now I have to cut it out of foam core, and I have to figure out how to do 2 pieces there, and then we can do the paper coverage. Okay, so I finished cutting my letters and covering them with the glitter paper. Pretty happy with them. Now I gotta finish papering the doors, because these are gonna go over both doors and they're gonna be split. So that will be interesting. But that is the next step. So here's my door, one of them, and I'm gonna start covering up with this basically contact paper that I got through Amazon. And I'm gonna see how long or how much I can get out of one roll, and I have another roll on the way coming for the other door. Okay, let me catch you up in terms of where I'm at. I'm waiting for more paper to come to finish covering up my doors, but I did finish the letters, and that's where they're gonna go more or less. I still have to finish the doors before I can do that. I still need to spray paint the frame green. And then I made like a little cover for here. I don't know, pediment or something. I don't know what to call it. And I went through a lot of options, and I decided I'm gonna cover up in the glitter paper, the green one. I don't have enough of it. And then what I'm gonna do, so basically it just follows the arch of the doors, so that the doors open with no problems. And then I wanted to add another detail. So I kind of came up with that kind of a circular thing. And then because I like the idea of the emerald being kind of part of I'm gonna have these 2 emerald cut kind of pieces, be like a little medallion. And I still haven't quite decided. I may do them both in this gold poster board from Dollar Tree, or I may do one different than the other. And then I'm gonna do more Oz letters on the top. So that's gonna be the top. So you can picture it all green and then all gold. So that's where I'm at with the door part. Now next to the doors, I'm gonna use my old columns. These ones have been used many times. I used them for my Oscar party, and I have 4 of these. So then I ended up having 2 that I used for my tea party and my New York party for Central Park. That's why I painted the bricks. This time I wanted to look really different. Now they're a little short. I want them to be as high as the frame. I'm gonna do one higher and one shorter, so there's a bit of a step down. And I went around to what to put on top. And I'm gonna try to see if I can make him kind of like a little bent I got some poster board, and I want to make, because if you look at the movie and all that, they're almost like tubular kind of buildings. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to increase the height, and then I'm going to try to make them tubular, and they'll be side by side. So they'll be separate pieces. I have, again, 4 of those all together. And then in terms of, I mean, I've already bought a whole bunch of foam core, which I have on the doors, front and back. I think it's important to have those be nice and even. But this is a little less important. It's not going to be handled. The doors will be open and closed. But, so again, trying to use what I have. We recently got a new thing for the pool, and it came in this humongous box. I'm going to try to use those. It's really thick cardboard too. I'm going to use that as a way to extend my columns. I only have 4 sides and 4 columns, 2, so that's 8. So I'm gonna have to do, I'm thinking front and back and leave the sides shorter. That's what I'm gonna do right now. If it looks really bad, then I can always get some foam core for the sides, but that's where we're at. Let me catch you up on what I've been up to. I decided to make this columns a little curved on the front, and then I cover them with poster board, as you can see. And the next step is going to cover them in just a regular paper, to hide all my seams and my tape and all that. And also to hide my old columns, that were back there. So that's what I'm up to. And then after that, I'm going to spray paint them green. I made like a little swoop detail here on the back. And I'm still deciding exactly how to do this, because I don't necessarily want it to be open. I have to come up with something for that. But anyway, then after this, there's a topper that's gonna go. It's gonna be gold. It's gonna have the awesome logo. So that's where we're at so far. It's gonna be 4 columns. There's the frame, which I still have to spray paint. It's gonna be a small and a larger column. I think I'm gonna put the larger one closer to the frame. And then the frame is for the doors, which I have yet to finish. So that's where we're at. Okay, I'm getting ready now to make the topper for my column. And just to give you an idea of what the thought process is, this is the kind of the first one that I worked out, but I wasn't quite happy, so I'm going to tweak it out a little bit. I've got this gold poster board from Dollar Tree, and the idea is, as it sounds, I'm basically going to cut out a shape, and this is going to go around the top of the column, and I want to get a little logo. I'll probably do the logo only on the taller ones, which are the closest to the door, and then the other ones will be plain gold. But I definitely want to come up with some kind of a shape. Let me show you what that looks like on the column for now. Okay, here's the top of the column, right? And then as you go down, you see the bottom. But the idea is that this is a short column. So this is just to give you the idea of what it's going to look like. Basically, it's going to be like a hat almost, right? Kind of like that. And the idea is that this will be gold and you'll see the green through. And I'm also thinking of maybe putting some of my glitter paper on the back to make it even more so. So that's the idea. So now we have to make it happen. So that's the idea, a little bit, more pointy. Again, once it's poster board, more, strength, it'll look a little different. And then on the side, is that what I want? That's the other thing I have to think, because they have to look good from the side too. Well, I am going to put a thick border of tape. So maybe some of that it'll be gold with gold, although they're different colors though. Wonder if I put it higher. Let me see. So I raised it up. And then what I'm seeing here, see how these two intersect? Maybe what I can do is cut that to that shape. And that will make a little bit more sense. I want it to be more fluid, right? Not sure about this straight edge here. Maybe I could do something with that. Because ideally, I wanted it to be all gold. I mean, if need be, I can always attach another little piece of the poster board so it continues. It makes more sense. But in terms of the shape, is more what I'm trying to figure out right now. The shape, I think I like that shape. Like that, but with a little, like I said, with that little thing. because I mean, I like this shape that I created here, that I didn't want to kind of really hide it. At one point I was gonna be like a complete crown kind of thing, so I could just put it on separately. But as I'm doing it now, I mean, this is not long enough to really make it a full crown. So really, I think I am gonna have to attach it on the sides here. Okay, so let's go with that. So now when I draw the off, and like I said before, I think I'm gonna center it more. I think it's gonna be more like from here to here. So this distance is pretty much the same as this. It's okay if it's a little higher. I think I'm okay with that. And I could even trace it from the old one. Let's see, where did I put my mark in there? And I can visualize it better. Something like that. And the other thing is I'm hoping to offset it a little bit from the column. So I want to give it some kind of like depth. Probably just a thickness of foam core. Just let it pop. So it's kind of like a little popped up kind of situation. So, okay. So now let me trace this. And I'm still debating what to do about the O. I think I'm going to have to create a separate, you know, kind of line for the O. Because otherwise it's going to look like an O with a circle. I mean, it's going to be like a Z with a circle, but you might not really appreciate the O. So I got to figure that out too. That's enough. And I just freehanded this, but I try to keep it like the one that I use for the door. Something like that. Right, that's how it's gonna look. But yeah, I think it needs an O. So create an O, right? I think I just need to follow this. Especially because the O that I have, it's a specific kind of O where it's not even, it's kind of thicker on the bottom. So this is just my spacing. And now, maybe draw with a pencil first. Thicker on the bottom, and as I get here, it's gonna be thinner, and then thicker again, and then thinner, and thicker again. See? I think it's okay if it looks a little, you know, handmade. That's the whole point of it. Okay, yeah. So that will be cut out, and then this will be cut out, right? So this, and this will be cut out. Make sense? Yeah, so the only thing staying is this little thing here. Now, the only thing is, I just realized I did make one mistake here, because if I cut this out, this has to be attached to that, otherwise that's just gonna fall. So maybe this is where I can extend my C, which is kind of my preferred thing anyway, to extend the C away from, so that it helps with the connection. So those will be points of connection. So basically, the positive space is going to be this. And then this is it. Oops, that goes over here. And then everything else is negative space. Will be cut out. Okay. Let's cut it out first here, and there'll be my template to cut it out on the actual gold pieces. If you have a sharp blade, it's not that hard to make good curves. Okay, so I got some scrap foam core. So what I'm thinking is little strips all around here. Not too much in the corner because then the edge of this will show, more like inset. And I'm not gonna worry about that part. Maybe I'll put something like that, because a lot of that part's gonna be above the column. So let me just cut a bunch of these little supports here. And then I'm gonna hot glue them to this. And then I'll probably put like double-sided tape so that day off I could, you know, that's kind of the thought. As soon as my glue gun is ready, I'll go ahead and glue this. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put some double-sided tape. I'm doing a fat one, so I think I'm just gonna do one. And again, I'll take supply in case that when I'm there, nothing happens. You know, you never know till the day that you put it together. Oh, and the other thing is I ordered some tinsel curtain because I wanted to kind of put it on the front of the column. But again, I won't have that for a little while, so I won't be able to test it out. But that way I was gonna make it more interesting, or, you know, kind of cover some of my lumpy, paper. Okay, let me show you where I'm at with my columns. So I just kind of temporarily put in there, you see, with some blue tape, because I have some fringe curtain coming here. And then that will go on top of that, so I cannot install until I'm there. I also want to make sure I don't hit the roof and all that, the ceiling, I mean. So also, that's why I didn't do it permanently. I may add some gold on the bottom because I still have extra of that poster board. So, but that's the idea, kind of these pointy columns. I did, again, spray painted all the columns. I had to add some trim tape, both for decor, but also to hide my seams. As you can see, I had a heck of a time having tape stick and then running out of supplies and having to go buy more. But the fortunate thing is, as you can see, a lot of the tape in the middle, so it's not gonna be seen. I gotta come up, I like them when they're clipped because the thing, they stand straighter. So I'm gonna come up with some way of doing that. And also, I don't know, I think the French curtain might make it all the way to the back to kind of hide some of this, which is not the prettiest. So, but that's what I got so far. Tell you, just trying to make things stick, and they would stick and they would unstick. The same things happen with the doors. Let me show you what I'm at with the doors. So, this one's not finished yet. I'm still waiting for one more roll of paper. But I did end up having to put some trim, this trim that I had before, and I had to staple this darn thing because nothing would stick to it. If I put hot glue, it would get all bumpy, which I was trying not to use hot glue. I used some hot glue on the side. But anyway, it was a struggle to get that. So finally, I just stapled it. And then that's when I thought, well, I better put the nail head trim. And then it's gonna go like that. I think I only have enough to make it to there, but that edge really needed kind of to be covered. But basically, at least I got them all green. The next thing is gonna be to attach actually finish down when I get the rest of my paper tomorrow. And I had to put some nail head trim on the top yet, and a little bit on the bottom. I wanted to make sure I had enough. But now the next thing is going to be to put my letters in here. So that's one of the things I'm trying to figure out. Let me show you where they are right now. The back of the letters. As you can see, again, some of the things don't stick, so I have to either go with hot glue or something. But also I'm thinking, because I want to stand them off from the tape from the doors a little bit. Of course, they're going to be cut in half and all that. I think I'm going to support them with extra foam core. I think that's going to be helpful so they don't feel so flimsy. Especially the Z, which is going to go on top of the O. That one could go pretty much flat on the door, but this one I wanted to stand off a little bit. So I think I'm going to reinforce it a little bit with some foam core, and then put them on top of the door and figure out where the cut's going to be and all that. So that's where we're at.
So here is the gate installed at the location of the party the week before. I transported everything in pieces to avoid getting things damaged. The column toppers and their gold bases were put at the last minute, as so was the green fringe. One of the last minute touches was the sign and the rope pull for the bell that is now out of order. And check out my door knocker made out of an old towel ring, spray painted gold, of course. I hope you have enjoyed going with me through the process of creating these fantastical Emerald City gates and columns. It goes to show you that even when you've never done it before, you can still figure it out. So keep on trying.